What a beautiful day, ladies and gentlemen. How lovely it is to have your company in sound and vision, both here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca and around the world, as we bring the huge audience that is IMSA Radio and IMSA TV on RS2 and at IMSARadio.com. If you are listening in at the moment and you want to tell your friends where to watch and listen, if you go to IMSARadio.com, there is a live video button just at the top left-hand side. No subscriptions or anything required. We're on the left coast. The west coast is the best coast, is what they say around these parts. 2.25 miles, 11 corners, and it just befits the history of this place that we don't always talk about numbers. It's the Andretti hairpin and the Rahal Straight. Turns 8 and 8A, it's the corkscrew. Turn 9, rainy. Yeah, down the hill, down there, and that's a toughie. And a resurfaced track, complete repaved since the last time that the Whelen Mazda MX-5 Cup cars have been with us. And Shay Adam is with me in the IMSA Global Broadcast booth. Hello, Shay. This is something that we always look forward to, because going back as far as I can remember, the Mazda MX-5s have always given us entertainment, and particularly here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca.
Hello, John, and hello, ladies and gentlemen. All around the world, the engines have just fired. And yes, it is as if we left it last year, John, because when we raced here 12 months ago, Aaron Johnson was the race winner. Well, he starts today from pole position, so nothing's changed in the intervening 12 months except for a completely new pavement around the 2.238 miles of this circuit. So we don't know yet how this place is going to race, having not seen these cars go out, and this is the first race of the weekend. So it is a learning experience for everybody. Just because that number 24 got the win last year doesn't mean he has any idea how to do it again this year, although he might have a better idea than some of the other competitors.
Apologies for Shay's double audio there. We'll try and get that fixed with our technical team in Concord at NASCAR Productions and see if we can make that work for this 45-minute long race. At IMSA Radio, if you want to get in touch with us. And the cars rolling out. It's Aaron Johnson on pole position from the number 96 in second place. This is Jared Thomas. Nice to see up in third place is the number 56 of Nathan Nicholson for JTR. Then Tyler Gonzalez, Nate Cicero, and then we have the number 5 in sixth position on the outside of the third row, Gresham Wagner on our Mazda MX-5 starting grid. Behind that, the number 99 is the Spark Performance car, and then we have the 88. That is the Nick Schaefer driven JTR machine, and making up the top 10 is the number 50, which is Grant West from Beaufort in Georgia, not too far from the Road Atlanta. So the cars forming up behind the safety car, and with a bit of luck and a fair wind, they will get side by side. Brand new colourway for Jared Thomas. He's gone really old school with the chevrons of red and white, and it looks absolutely fantastic. I was kind enough to share that with Shane myself some time ago, and we've kept that secret until you saw it here. And this is our first time seeing the cars in the metal this weekend, so my opportunity to see that, and it looks absolutely brilliant. So here we go down to the final corner. On the inside, the Paul Sitter then, and Johnson in the number 24, Jared Thomas still holding on to the bright yellow roll cage as they go to the green flag. 45 minutes on the clock, and they head down to the first corner, and it's 2 wide and 5 or 6 rows deep as they go down to the Andretti hairpin. Round the outside for the red and white of Jared Thomas. I have to keep remembering that, but I don't think he's going to be able to squeeze his way around, and in fact puts the right-hand side tyres onto the dirt, drops into second place. The JTR car still side by side in second and third position, but the pole sitter has got away. Shea Adam, a fabulous start there with what, 5-6 rows side by side?
It was a great start, but it was an even better start for Nate Cicero than it was anyone else ahead of him, because he's now up to P4, looking at P3, and Nathan Nicholson has to watch his mirrors.
And already a problem, and this is going to bring out a safety car, I think.
That's
with
Woody
the
Hyman.
32. Sorry, Shea, say again?
That's Woody Hyman involved, John, and
Yeah,
the
I was
full
about
course
to say
caution
that.
is out. That was an unfortunate incident. Woody Hyman was squeezed on the outside. The number 66 was keeping him accountable. That's Wyatt Couch. He's a newbie into the championship, but he went to turn into the apex at turn 5. Sally Mott just giving him a nudge on the right rear quarter panel. It spun both of them around. Woody getting stuck in the beach. Sally able to continue. And that is unfortunate for Woody, who I talked to earlier in the day. He said he was going to aim for his first top 10 finish of the year in this championship. Doesn't look like that's going to be able to happen. He felt good coming into the race, though, because 3 of his JTR Motorsports Engineering teammates qualified first, second, and third. And he said, although they've got about a half second a lap on me, I really wanted to try and do my own thing in qualifying. Well, he did, and it didn't work out. Unfortunately for Woody, he's going to need the safety team, the AMR safety team, to help get him out of that very deep gravel. So as we are behind the Whelen safety car, one of my favorite Mazdas in the entire paddock, I have to say, it is Aaron Johnson leading the way with turn 2 on his hood once again, but he's got a new sponsor for this weekend, so it was even more important for the youngster out of Louisiana to get that pole position and to get that first step closer towards a win this season. Liberty Group, which is based in Oakland, they're a financial advisory group, but they brought 26 guests to the track this weekend to try and cheer on Aaron. And just walking through the paddock, you can see a lot of people wearing Aaron Johnson accoutrement this weekend. Jared Thomas in second with that new livery. He was very excited about it and said, you know, it's just the kind of thing we want to keep people guessing, where when they look in their rearview mirror, they're not entirely sure that it is me because they don't know what my car looks like any given weekend. So this could become a theme. In third, another one of the JTR Motorsports Engineering cars of Nathan Nicholson. He is going for Rookie of the Year. Speaking of Rookie of the Year, it was a rookie who won our last race at Sebring International Raceway. So it is possible to claim victory in these just because it's your first time. In fourth and fifth, up there now are 2 of the McCumbee-Mackley Racing cars. They qualified 5th, 6th, and 7th. It's Jeremy Fletcher who is still back in 7th. But series champion Gresham Wagner is in 5th with Nate Cicero, a former scholarship winner and Rookie of the Year, up into that 4th position. Watch out for Nate. He is going to go very well here. Tyler Gonzalez, who qualified in the 4th position, is down to 6th for Sato Motorsports Group. Don't give up on him, though. It won't take him very much longer to get back toward the front of the field. And then impressively up into 8th after a little while away from the championship, Bryce Cornier. And Bryce is a guy who is from Norman, Oklahoma. He's got a very special group of people back home in Norman cheering him on for today's race. The Braxton Bird Foundation is represented on the hood of the number 99 from Spark Performance. A boating accident in 2022 claimed the life of Braxton Bird. He was only 23 years old, and his family, as well as friends back in Norman, Oklahoma, are having a watch party for today's race. fundraising and trying to then generate funds to give to support local nonprofit charities. So we hope to see Bryce in the series more. We've missed his presence here, and we hope to see him do well for those friends and family back at home. The field just going through the site of the accident once again, and Woody is still buried deep in the gravel. It might be another lap or so before we can get back to any form of green flag racing. Everybody will be eager to see how these cars run on the new pavement, because practice is very different from when you actually run in the race, and you get to see that people compete at a different level. Practice got pretty serious, and there were a couple of incidents where even teammates were, let's say, nudging each other through the corkscrew, giving a little bit of added effort. You're not allowed to maintain contact in this series. Race control will issue penalties if you stay linked together. Not as much of an issue here at Laguna, but when we race at Daytona or Sebring, or even in the past when we've raced at Watkins Glen, it has been an issue. This is only round 5 of the championship, and we've got quite a few good tracks still to come. Oh, I hate to see that for Woody Hyman out of his car. And looking at the damage to the left front, it's day done for the 82.
Top 3 are all JTRs. With Aaron Johnson, Jared Thomas, Nate Nicholson, and Nate Cicero is the first non-JTR. He heads a couple of the Cumbria McAleer racing cars, himself and Gresham Wagner in 3 and 5, and 4th and 5th. Tyler Gonzalez in 6th for Saito Motorsport Group. Then another MMR machine, Jeremy Fletcher in 7th in the 22. Bryce Cornett in 8th, top 10 made up by Nick Schaefer, who is the second best of the rookies. Should have said Nate Nicholson, by the way, is the best of the rookies as well, and there is a special prize. This is a championship that in the past few years has become one of, if not the most valuable championships in the United States, outside probably of IndyCar. $1.2 million, a little over that, up for grabs over the season. And points make money. What sort of money, Shea Adam?
That would be real cash money, John Hindhoff, and it is true. At the end of every single race, the winner gets $6 grand, 5 for second, 4 for third, pays all the way down to 10th place finishers. So you do want to finish up inside that top 10, because it buys your crew a really nice dinner that first night after the race, or even the second night. But at the end of the year, $250,000, and we're talking actual foldable money that Mazda gives you. They don't say you have to use it in X, Y, or Z. They say you can take it and run, and that has been the plan for Jared Thomas the last 2 years in a row. He's won that check. The first year, he took the money and he bought Rolexes for all of his crew guys, which is possibly the best thank you that you could ever think of in racing. Last year, he won the big check again, and at the award ceremony, he said, guys, I hope you don't mind, but I'm not buying you Rolexes again. I got something else in mind.
Well, and he's also building himself a very nice business with multiple cars in this championship. He's had a little toe in the water with GT4 as well. This no longer thought of as a stepping stone, but plenty of people who want to come back and do this, and is gaining as we're about to go back to green. Are we? No, we're still behind the safety car. We are gaining in this Whelen Mazda MX-5 Cup Championship a great following from drivers all over the world. IndyCar drivers, IMSA drivers, WEC drivers. They are tuned in right now, and I know they are. I know it was late. The late finish for the WEC after a long red flag, and that's just come to an end. There will be drivers at Spa who are dashing away to make sure they are watching us now live from WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Looks like we'll go green this time around, back to green. See who made up some positions. We always think of Alex Matura in the Spark Performance. Number 33 is a man who fires his way through the field. He's up to 12th position at the moment. Weston Workman is the Scholarship winner. He's down in 18th. He'll not be happy with that, Shay.
No, he won't, but he also had a very bad qualifying. There was a mechanical issue with the car in qualifying that affected not only yet today's qualifying, but tomorrow's potentially as well. If he sets a faster lap time in the race than he did in qualifying, then it will affect where he starts tomorrow's race. But if he doesn't, he's going to be mired back in the field once again. And Weston Workman was the race winner I mentioned at Sebring International Raceway. By the way, if you happen to be here at the track and you would like to get a special edition poster, which may or may not feature the young man in the number 13, the purple car, crossing the finish line at Sebring, you might want to head to the autograph session, which is taking place at 4 p.m. in the paddock. But Weston very much making a splash in this series early on. I don't expect him to stay back in 18th for very long once we get back to green, which should be soon now that the safety car has pulled away.
And Chuck Miller tweeting at IMSA Radio, how do you suggest other forms of motorsport get the same level of intense racing that MX-5 could produce? Sit back and watch for the next 34 minutes as we go back to green. And Aaron Johnson heads down towards the green flag, across the line. Jared Thomas following in the wheel chaps. The red and white number 56 wheeling car is Nate Nicholson. Best of our rookies there, Nate Cicero looks to follow him round on the inside. Tyler Gonzalez, no, Gresham Wagner tries to come round the outside in the black fronted number 5, in behind the number 83 of Nate Cicero. Two very similar coloured cars there from McCumbee McAleer Racing. They have a sort of a team look to them. They're subtly different in the colours, but they're all done in the same style, if you see what I mean. And then Tyler Gonzalez in the mainly white car with the green stripe. Down to turn 5, climbing the hill again. A decent restart by everybody. Little bit of left foot braking by Tyler Gonzalez in the 57. He wasn't trying to slow himself down, he's just making sure the brake pads are right there on the discs on the rotor for the big stop at the top of the hill. Heading in there now. Is there a chance for Jared Thomas? Looks like he might have a look down the inside, but pulls back into line. And then they dive down towards Rainy Curve. 32.5 minutes to go, Shay.
And our championship leader is Gresham Wagner. She mentioned that before now, but on 1060 points after 4 rounds. So Gresham, even though he's in P5 for car number 5, will be driving slightly more conservatively than some of his other people around him in the field who perhaps need to gain some of those championship points, namely the young man in 3rd. Nathan Nicholson comes into today's race from 10th in the championship. So he, at this point in the season, with a couple bad finishes, needs to make up for that, needs to get to the podium.
Across the line they go for another lap. Never mind about the laps, it's the time here. 45 minutes is actually quite a long run for these cars, and they do draft very well. Open top cars with the FIA roll cage in them, and that means that they are making quite a big hole in the air. We saw at Sebring actually 2 very different races, and for once we had a single driver getting away in the second race, and basically much like a stage Grand Tour cycle race, the following pack, the peloton if you will, had to organise themselves to get back to the leader. It was absolutely fabulous, but this is much more the usual situation, Shay, where we've got the top 7 or 8 absolutely together.
Yeah, and it was Gresham Wagner who led the peloton to try and get back to that leading group at Sebring, but it was just too little too late as far as the time left in the race was concerned. Right now we are seeing that JTR Motorsports Engineering wants nothing more than for their 3 cars to get together and check out into the sunset, but McCumbee McAleer will not let that happen. You mentioned how the liveries are very similar, John. McCumbee and McAleer, 2 of the team owners, used to be best friends and co-drivers in a Mazda MX-5 back in the ST days. They won that championship, as a matter of fact, but part of their genius was to get matching helmets so no one could tell who was in the car at any given time. That's what this reminds me of the matching liveries, because when you look at it from the front when driving a race car at 150 miles an hour, you look in your rearview mirror, you can't tell which one of them's behind you.
Tyler Gonzalez has the fastest lap of the race so far with a 1:37.586, and that, Shay, is important too.
It is. That's 10 points, and points equal cash money at the end of the year. I do have a breaking news incident, though, from Weston Workman. We were singing the praises of the driver of the number 13 from BSI, Weston, back in the 14th position right now. He changed tires and went to the back of the grid since he was last anyway. But then, unfortunately, he got a 10-second penalty for a false start. So Weston has that lingering over him for the end of this race. Now, what that means is we need to stay green, and Weston Workman needs to not only get as far up as he can, he needs to build himself a gap. Those are things that do not often exist in this championship, do they, John?
Not at all. There's just no way to, well, unless something happens behind you. Through the corkscrew again, the cars on the other side of the circuit to Shea, Adam and myself now heading down the hill. We'll wait to hear the buzz of the 2-litre 4-cylinder engines as they come down the hill through turn 10 and into the final left-hander at turn 11. Here they come. Still 5 cars in the front of the field. Gresham Wagner just about holding on at the back of that 5-car train. 3 JTRs, 2 McCumbee McAleer Racing. Tony Gonzalez just broken off the back there, the white and green striped car. He's got the number 22 of Jeremy Fletcher for another McCumbee McAleer Racing. Now, if Jeremy can get onto the back of that white and green car ahead of him, maybe they can close back up again and make this 5 a 7 or an 8. That's how it works. And whilst it's very difficult not to, we try not to get too excited in these first few minutes of the racing, because quite simply they could all come back together, and we've seen this before, Shane, maybe 10 or a dozen cars battling going into the last 5 or 6 minutes.
That's exactly why we love this series, because you never know who's going to win until they actually cross the start-finish line. And even then, most of the time, we need to look at the cameras and the transponders to find out who has claimed victory. And that NASCAR got their victory last weekend. That was the closest ever in series history. Well, it pales in comparison to our closest series victory, which was 0.0009 of a second back when the series was running with IndyCar, and they timed it that far down to a decimal point. And that's the kind of racing that we get in the Whelen Mazda MX-5 Cup. It's always close, it's always competitive, and it's always worth watching.
Woody Hyman has retired from the race after that incident early on that saw him in the gravel at turn 5. Another race to come tomorrow. Of course, check your timetables for that. Across the line again. Now this is interesting because we are starting to see a little bit of the pack breaking up. 8th and 9th, Bryce Cornet in the dark grey, or the mid-grey, number 99, has just gone by Jeremy Fletcher. And that was for 7th position. Jeremy in the blue McCumbee McAleer Racing. Spark performance for Bryce. Graham West not too far behind. That's another Spark car as well, the number 50, which is the white and yellow car from memory. Yeah, there he is, just in the background. Then the bright orange machine is Nick Schaefer. Alex Pachura a little further back from there in another dark grey car. But at the front of the field, it is still Aaron Johnson, Jared Thomas, Nate Nicholson. The 3 JTR cars are as close as they can be without bump drafting all the way up the Rahal Straight. For the moment, the 56th is Nathan Nicholson, perhaps as a rookie, just not quite as comfortable being right on the rear bumper of Jared Thomas, who is the JT of JTR. He's probably thinking, oh, I don't really want to be right on the bumper of the guy whose team I'm racing for, just in case I make a mistake. But that's what you have to do if you're going to break that toe to Nate Cicero and Gresham Wagner behind.
Well, and poor Nate Nicholson, I was talking to him the other day, and after the big crash at Daytona in the second race, and then some argy-bargy at Sebring, he said every component on his car, except for the steering wheel, the hood, which proudly has Whelen on it, and the driver's side door is new for this weekend. So he is very hesitant to put a scratch on anything, and he's definitely driving that way, but he's still driving fast. So that tells you if that young man can be conservative and be that quick, oh boy, hate to see what happens when he gets angry.
Hello to Andrew and Steve Homer, who are trackside here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Thank you very much indeed for voting with your feet and your wallet and coming to support the IMSA weekend here, part of the Motul course de Monterey, powered by Hyundai N. And heading back up the hill again, turn 6. See the suspension working, that's that Multimatic, very sophisticated suspension. Oh, the squirrels come to have a look as well on driver's left. We'll think, oh, hang on a minute, I'll let these go around and wait another 1 minute 37.3 seconds before I nip across the track. Going to get me stash of nuts is not that important right now to me. 25 minutes to go, Shea.
25 minutes to go, and every single lap so far has been led by Aaron Johnson. That would be 10 more bonus points going his way. He already got the 10 for the pole position, as, who was that? It was Nate Cicero who had a moment at the exit of turn 10, manages to gather it back up. That will put him even closer to Gresham Wagner, and now those two will be able to work together in more of a congruous manner to try and catch back up to the JTR Motorsport Engineering Group. But we have a very tight championship battle at the head of the field with 7 drivers separated by only 100 points. So everybody right now desperate for those bonus points that you can get. Fast lap, pole position, and most laps led. Right now, 2 of those sets of bonus points going the way of Aaron Johnson.
At IMSA Radio, if you want to get in touch with us on this Super Saturday, it's Shea, Adam and John Einoff in the Global Broadcast Centre. Every single Whelen Mazda MX-5 Cup presented by Michelin Race this year once again is live, it's free, it's unblocked, right across the world, no subscriptions required. IMSA.tv or IMSARadio.com and click the live video button at the top left. And there's a little bit of a break, just now, it's started to happen, Shea. The JTR guys, it's not quite enough at the moment, it's only about half a second, but there'll be a little bit of a worried thought from the guys in the 2 McCumbee-McAleer racing cars. With Nate Cicero and Gresham Wagner, there's just, what, maybe 2, 3, 4 MX-5 lengths between the top 3 and then the 2 MMR cars, and that could be significant here.
And shrinking every single time they turn more and more laps around this track, because it's allowing former series champion Gresham Wagner to get back into the mix. And this is a man, as I mentioned, leading the championship. You've got Jared Thomas, the only 2-time series champion in history, who currently has 960 points, so 100 fewer than Gresham. We've got a situation where Jared wants to stay ahead of Gresham, but these two guys have been racing each other for 3-4 years now. They know each other well. It's the people in between that are the unknown factors.
Are we almost back together? We are. But I've got to tell you, I don't think Tyler Gonzalez is entirely out of this at the moment.
No.
He's a couple of seconds back, but that's all, Shea.
He's not entirely out of it, but he is driving slightly conservatively because Tyler has concerns regarding his car. There was an issue in the last race, remember, at Sebring, where he pulled over and he actually fixed his car himself on the racetrack. Big off-track moment. That was Gresham Wagner, the former series champion, who managed to gather it back up. I don't think he took out any of the signage boards, so that will keep Emily happy. But he did manage to keep all 4 wheels pointed in the right direction. It's given JTR that gap, though. Tyler Gonzalez had the issue in the last race. He's a little nervous about his car lasting the entire distance of the race for this one, and he comes into this race in 5th in championship standings as well. So Tyler's being slightly conservative. Oh, Gresham did manage to knock down 2 of the boards. Sorry, Emily.
Now that has opened up the gap, and this is the opportunity. JTR boys have got to get their heads down now and start to pull away. That means Nathan Nicholson has got to be right on the back bumper of that red and white number 96. Tyler Gonzalez has not been able to capitalise. The 2 MMR cars are as close as they could be. You could not put an exercise book through that. You couldn't put a sheet of toilet paper between them. And down the inside goes Gresham Wagner to go ahead of Nate Cicero. Now, we've seen what Gresham Wagner can do. He's got something hanging down just inside his right rear wheel. Is that as a consequence of going off the track. Has it fallen off? I think it has. Just maybe, no, it's part of the right sill on the car that is just dropping down. I can see it underneath the car if I look very carefully as they head through turn 5. Gresham trying to do what he did at Sebring and bring himself and whoever wants to come with him back towards the leaders. Tyler Gonzalez doesn't have a drafting partner at the moment, but Spark Performance Bryce Cornet in the 99, the grey car, and Grant West, his teammate, are not that far behind. Now, if those two Spark cars can hook up, maybe they can get towards the Sato Motorsport Group car, and those three can start to come back towards the two blue and black cars that are heading down the hill now from Rainey into a stunning right-hand banked corner at turn 10. And I've got to tell you, Gresham Wagner's pushing, putting Michelin's on the dirt there, Shea. He knows that this is the crunch part of the race. Yes, there's 19 minutes to go, but that gap has got to be closed, and it's got to be closed within the next couple of laps.
Yeah, Gresham Wagner's having a little bit of PTSD from Sebring because he was leading that second group at the end of the second race, trying to get back into the clutches of the leading group. Right now, he wants to make the move sooner than he did at Sebring to see if maybe he can get back up to the leading trio. The problem is, as you said, 18 minutes and 50 seconds to go. That's a lot of time left in the race. Is it enough? It should be, as far as the track is concerned and how much ground Gresham has to make up. But should and is are two very different things.
Now let's just see what the JTR drivers are doing. These cars look very much like a showroom spec MX-5. I can tell you they're not. They start life as that, come into the US on the East Coast and head to Daytona to Fliss Performance, where the brothers and their team of excellent engineers basically strip them down to their component parts, like taking a Lego kit apart. The engine is put to one side. It is sealed with a Mazda Motorsport set of seals so that there can be no shenanigans or jiggery-pokery on the engine. So that remains the 2-litre 186 horsepower engine that you would have in your showroom stock car. And then around about 2,500 race-specific parts are put onto the car. Different bolts, different fastenings, a new gearbox which is sequential, different electronics for flat shift and flat downshift, an FIA cage, a fire suppression system, a new seat, a new steering wheel. Some of the cars, they have new dashboard as well. And then, of course, that special suspension, wheels, tyres, door bars, you name it, it goes into it. So whilst it has the outward look of a straight stock MX-5, this is far from that. This is quite a sophisticated racing car with all kinds of adjustment, particularly on the suspension side of things with that DSSV suspension from Multimatic. What it doesn't have is wings. And that is why the racing, one of the reasons why the racing is so good. Makes a big hole in the air. This is a drafting, a streamline and slipstreaming series. And therefore, the nut at the end of the wheel, i.e. the carbon-based interface, the driver, is very important indeed in terms of getting the performance out of this car. Now, 16 minutes to go, Shea, and all of a sudden, we've got new challenges here because Tyler Gonzalez and Bryce Cornet have pretty much hooked up there. Turn 11, Gonzalez puts his left-hand Michelin's into the dirt, but that gap between Gresham Wagner in 4th and Nate Cicero in 5th is coming down. It's just on 2 seconds now. Fastest lap of his race to Bryce Cornet last time around, and I think he'll probably improve again this time as he goes under the Mission Foods bridge. And Aaron Johnson puts the fastest lap of the race in. He knows it's go time at the front of the field.
Well, I had just awarded him the 10 bonus points for leading the most laps because we will not have more laps than we've already have. So he's already locked up those 10 bonus points as well as the 10 for pole position. Aaron's on his way to a perfect weekend sweep because he does hold provisional pole for tomorrow because he set the fastest second lap in qualifying as well. He was fastest in both of the practice sessions. This could be the dream weekend for the driver, the number 24, Aaron Johnson. But just before we move away from those carbon-based entities that exist at the end of the steering wheel that you were mentioning, John, fans of this series might be wondering where two of their favorite drivers are. Two series staples not here this weekend. Connor Zilich, the man who's been winning everything. Hello, Connor. Watching on from an ARCA race this weekend. And we have your captain, Celine Roland, speaking from 34,000 feet. I've been reliably informed that Celine Roland, even though he is now a commercial airline pilot, is tuning in. So hello, Celine. Your BSI family misses you.
Yes, I absolutely need to find out from you when we're not on the air who he flies for, so that if I hear him say his name, is it? Excellent. Excellent. Chase just told me in my ear which one it is, and it happens to be an airline that I fly with quite a lot. Right, I've got his email somewhere. There's my upgrades going through the roof then, hopefully. Johnson, Jared Thomas, Nathan Nicholson, within 0.3 of a second of each other. They've got this together, and they will continue to race like this, because the moment they start going side by side, it will be more inefficient. It would be much less efficient, would be a better way in English to say that, wouldn't it? Because one car doesn't go as fast as two cars through the air. Two cars aren't as efficient as three or four, but you have to keep that spacing pretty tight so that the last car is in the hole of the air that is being made by the car ahead, who's in the car the hole in the air made by the leading car, and with that you become one efficient machine. Also doing a bit of drafting at the moment in 9th and 10th Grant West for Spark Performance in the white, yellow and blue, number 50. Right behind him is the number 22 of Jeremy Fletcher. So they've changed positions since they crossed the line this time around, as they're now heading down through Rainy Curve. Under 13 minutes to go.
It is a great effort from Grant West as well, who did not finish the first race here last year. He only ran 4 weekends last year, did Grant West, out of Atlanta, Georgia. And Laguna Seca was one that he was very happy to forget because he didn't get those results. I am so impressed with what we're seeing from the Spark Performance driver, because he's put those ghosts behind him, and now he's up into the top 8. As side by side, they come across the line, and I think that's Jean Jadouin, who is on the inside. Now, who was trying to make a pass on the outside? That would be DaCosta, Julian DaCosta, the youngster out of Florida, who was going around the outside. Weston Workman, remember, with that 10-second penalty looming over his head at the end of the race, is just in front of both of them.
Now, further back in the pack, let's look at some of the battles. Weston Workman for BSI heads a trio of BSI racing car, 12th, 13th and 14th. Weston Workman, Julian DaCosta, Jonathan Nerdorf, the first two of those. The purple 13, the 78 and the 55, first two of them being rookies. Nate Nicholson, by far the best rookie at the moment, in 3rd position. Nick Schaefer is next best in 10th position in the number 88. All quiet again on the start line as we wait for the cars to come back down the hill. Here come the little 2-litre engines being revved within an inch of their life. And Aaron Johnson has to now, surely, get the points for leading the most laps.
Oh yeah, I awarded those to him about 5 minutes ago. He can't be touched at this point. We have had, as they come across the line, 19 laps. He's led all of them.
And with only 11 laps to go, that's not going to change. The Tiger Stripe number 88 going up alongside Jeremy Fletcher. They swapped places. No, Jeremy Fletcher launched the place last lap around. He's got Alex Patura in the green car right in there, and then Weston Workman as well. 4 cars, 2 wide, 2 deep, going into the Andretti hairpin in turns 1 and 2, and somehow Jeremy Fletcher holds on to 9th place from Nick Schaefer. So Schaefer just being displaced for a moment. It looked like he got alongside and getting onto the back of that group there. The 55, Jonathan Neudorf in the blue car, side by side for the lead as well. Now this is the first time we've seen the JTR squad break ranks. Is this too early? And there was a touch there from Jared Thomas on the lead car of Aaron Johnson going through turn 6. And with the grandstand view, it's Nathan Nicholson. Now, this is interesting, Shea. 10 minutes to go. A 2-second, call it, lead between these three and the two Macumbi Magalia racing cars. I'm not sure. I think this might be a bit early to start scrapping to sort out the positions on the podium. And in fact, Gresham Wagner's coming back to them.
Yeah, it's a little bit too early for my liking. Maybe Aaron had a bad run out of turn 4 and it just gave Jared a little bit of hope going in through turn 5, but it's really early at this stage in the race. If they just hold 1, 2, 3, it's going to benefit all 3 of these drivers as far as championship is concerned. And oh, by the way, $15,000 worth of checks would be going to these 3 drivers tonight. That's not a bad day's work, but they're all greedy. They're all race car drivers, and they all want to win the race. So there is going to be no patience from Jared Thomas or Nathan Nicholson to just sit back and collect the money.
Under 9 minutes to go. Shea Adam and John Hindhoff in the IMSA Global Broadcast Centre, live and free. The Whelen Mazda MX-5 Cup presented by Michelin Tyres at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. We know what a great track this is for these cars. All about momentum, all about being brave and keeping the minimum corner speed up through the 11 different types of turns that they have here. Up the rail straight now to the infamous corkscrew. Here comes Thomas down the inside. He faked to the right, goes to the left, side by side through the middle of the corkscrew. Here comes the rookie, Nathan Nicholson, in the Whelen car. And as they exit Rainey, it's as you were. But this is getting feisty at the front of the field between the teammates, Shea.
The claws are starting to come out a little bit, and Jared Thomas is getting more and more impatient. Is off the track. That's Peter Atwater, car number 26. He too took out a banner. Sorry again, Emily. Maximum, guys. They're gonna have to get in the pickup truck and fix that before we go green for our next race. But the green flag remains out, and it is still Aaron Johnson in the lead ahead of Jared Thomas. Let's get another look at what happened to Peter Atwater. Just coming through turn 6 and got a little bit wide. It's happened to all of us on the simulators.
Yeah, he did well to keep that car out of the wall. The bright green machine ends up spinning across the track in the number 26 JTR Motorsports car. And it's lost a few places, but he lives, and so does the car, without damage to fight again tomorrow. So at the moment, no damage for that car, other than a bit of dust underneath, I would think. Now, Nathan Nicholson, here's the conundrum for the 3rd place driver, Shea, the 56. Oh, and 2 cars off, and one of them is Alex Pachura at turn 4. And there's another car just to his left-hand side. Well, he was battling in a group of cars that included Weston Workman and Nick Schaefer and Jeremy Fletcher, and they are beached. 6 minutes 40 to go. I don't think they're getting out of there. Pachura arrived backwards to drivers left. So if you're going to make a pass, you're going to have to make it now. Jared Thomas, we've seen this before.
Full course
the team
caution
will be
is out.
talking to him. Full course yellow has come out, and the field is frozen.
It's harsh, John, but Weston Workman, with that 10-second penalty, had worked his way up to 10th. With the field being bunched up under yellow, that is the worst situation for him. As we get another look at what happened.
Workman was ahead of that little group. So was that Nick Schaefer and Julian DaCosta that were right in there? I think it was, but
and Neudorf.
I can't. And Neudorf, I don't think he got a helping hand there, if I'm honest. Workman had cleared them coming out of the Andretti hairpins. The 88 Tiger car, Nick Schaefer gets down the inside and away. It's 3 across the track. Is there a tiny little touch going in there? Oh, might have been. Great work by our repair crew, as we affectionately call them, the tape X. Yes, there was just a tiny little touch with the number 55 of Jonathan Neudorf. We salute you, the tape apes. Thank you very much indeed. And this will be the reverse angle, and that the VAR would convict on that, I think. It's a tough one. I reckon that is literally the definition of a racing incident, Shay. 3 cars trying to go 3 wide into turn 4. They're all on the ragged edge. They're all moving around. They'd given each other racing room there. I'm not sure if or how you could apportion blame there.
No, and thankfully that's a job for race control, which we don't have to sit in and we don't have to make those decisions. We just get to judge publicly. But race control will adjudicate. They will determine if any penalty is needed, and that would be applied as time for the end of this race, which 4.5 minutes to go. Not sure we're going to get back to green. If we do, it would be a 1-lap shootout, which Jared Thomas would be licking his chops for, as would Nathan Nicholson. He would love the opportunity to have a go and maybe move a further step up on the podium, maybe even 2. But then right behind them, now it's Nate Cicero, Tyler Gonzalez, Gresham Wagner, and Bryce Cornier. And how about Grant West up in the 8th position? Very impressive driving from him today. It could be a very exciting finish if we get back to green. And if we don't, it's been a very exciting race. JTR Motorsports Engineering yet to get a podium through 4 races this year. Right now, they've got the podium locked out.
Alex Pachura has dropped all the way down, of course, but he's not yet lost a lap. If we can get him onto the hard standing, which he's almost on now, get that tow rope off and get pointing in the right direction. Oh, this is going to be tight. We might be able to go green next time around. That lap to 2:24. Pachura is going to lose the lap, is he? No, he's in front of the safety car now. He's got to hustle. He's got to drive for his life here and hustle round. He's going to be on the back of the field, but every position he makes up will be extra points. So he's got a quick car in that number 33 Spark Performance. So what we want to see now is the safety car being told to keep up a decent clip, and we might get 1 green flag lap, but it's going to be tight.
The Wayland safety car looks like one of the race cars in the field. It's got 5-point harnesses. It is capable of going quickly. Come on, guys, get your right foot down. Let's see what that thing can actually do.
They're coming through turn number 5 at the moment, climbing the hill. It's still Aaron Johnson, Jared Thompson, and Nathan Nicholson, the JTR trio. McCumbee Macalia Racing, Nate Cicero in 4th. Tyler Gonzalez did catch and pass Gresham Wagner in all of that excitement. So that's a fantastic run back to the lead group for Tyler Gonzalez, and he's got a quick car. Then it's Gresham Wagner, Bryce Cornet, Grant West, Jeremy Fletcher, and Weston Workman for your top 10. Bachura hustling round, trying to get on the back. He's not going to, I don't think.
No, he just passed me at start-finish, and the field is coming through turn 9 now.
Tell you what, though, he's going to have nice warm Michelin tyres by the time he gets through to them. Safety car lights are out. We are going to have a dash for the cash. Now, will it be 1 to go or 2 to go this time? We have 1 minute and 40. No, we will get this one, and next time we'll get the white flag. So it'll be green and white, I think, this time around as they come to the line. 2 to go at the moment, will be white flag at the line. Janson comes to it, green and white. We'll get the checker next time around. So Aaron Johnson has just on 2.25 miles to defend. Jared Thomas in 2nd, Nathan Nicholson in 3rd. And everyone now, this is no team orders, this is no team loyalty, this is every driver for themselves. And what about Tyler Gonzalez? Gresham Wagner didn't have the pace on the restart there, and he's in trouble. He's got Bryce Cornet right behind him, so close in fact you can't see the grey car behind the McCumbee Macalia Racing number 5. Leaders going through turn 4. heading to turn 5, and Johnson has to defend to the inside. It's the old over and under, as here comes the red and white car. Will have the inside to turn number 6. This a brave move for Jared Thomas if he can get it done. They are teammates, and he does get it done, and he takes the lead with half a lap to go. Brilliant manoeuvre that was set up coming out of turn 4. Then it was mildly executed at turn 5 and finished off at turn 6. 3 corners, 1 move, and the lead of the race for Aaron Johnson for JTR Motorsports Engineering. But it's not over yet. There's one more braking spot on the track. Nathan Nicholson is going to stand on the overall podium as it stands at the moment and take the rookies. But here's Tyler Gonzalez coming up into 4th and down the inside for the lead. He's never going to get that stop. Johnson goes wide. Nicholson goes through in a second. Gonzalez is going to be on the 3rd step of the block. He's driven a brilliant race. Here comes Nicholson. Nicholson's got the draft. He's halfway alongside. Can't make it. 0.079 of a second. Nicholson almost timed that perfectly. He takes the rookie honours and will stand on the 2nd step of the podium. What a finish. What a finish to round 5 of the Whelen Mazda MX-5 Cup presented by Michelin Tyres. That is extraordinary. Well, you've got to give Aaron Johnson the credit. He threw it down the inside, but went from a nailed-on 2nd back to 6th, and that has huge implications. He did take the fastest lap of the race. But what about Nate Nicholson in the 2nd of the red and white cars? He was right to the passenger side door of his team leader and owner, with the checkered flag being shown, and the margin of victory is not even 1/10 of a second. It's about 3/4 of a Mazda MX-5 at speed as they went across the line. But Jared Thomas has taken it. He's bided his time beautifully. Jared Thomas from Nathan Nicholson, JTR 1st and 2nd. It's not the podium lockout as the Saito Motorsport Group. Tyler Gonzalez, 57, comes through into 3rd. Brilliant run to get back onto the lead group, and then the safety car played into Tyler's hands. Nate Cicero will go away with 4th place points from Bryce Cornet, who followed Gonzalez through and will take 5th. Aaron Johnson, top 3, nailed on there, but doesn't make it onto the podium. And also dropping back as well, I think the number, was that the number 88? Oh, got absolutely hammered in the last corner, as did the black and white number 39 as well. That was Jean Chaudouin, and that was a bit of a schmozzle at the final corner. It was indeed that tiger stripe number 88 of Nick Schaefer, who didn't get to the end. Alex Bachura did come round. Now, he's shown as a lap down. I don't think that's the case. Shea Adams been doing a quick bit of arithmetic. Thomas, Nicholson, the best of the rookies. Gonzalez, Cicero, Cornet, Johnson, Wagner, West, Fletcher, and Caden Kelly is the 2nd of the rookies and picks their way through the carnage to 10th position. Here's the unofficial results, and Shea Adam has the unofficial points.
There is a change in the championship to the lead of the championship after this race. Jared Thomas, race winner, championship leader by 10 whole points. 13-10 for Thomas, 1,300 for Wagner. So still very, very close between those two. Unofficially in 3rd position, it should be Tyler Gonzalez, 1260. 4th will be Aaron Johnson in 1230. So very big changes as far as JTR Motorsports Engineering are concerned. They had exactly the day they needed to get back into this championship.
Extraordinary stuff once again from the Mazda MX-5 Cup. The Whelen Series showing us again the absolute purity of this type of racing. Congratulations to JTR 1st and 2nd. What a drive from Tyler Gonzalez into 3rd. And the best of the rookies Nathan Nicholson in second. But with a perfectly timed manoeuvre, clean as you like, Jared Thomas on the last lap, planned it at 4, started it at 5, executed it at 6, and brought it home despite a late lunge from Aaron Johnson. JTR, Jared Thomas, takes the win in the first of 2 races this weekend at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca.